Apparently I'm live. Hopefully you can hear me. Is anybody there? Apparently there are 3 people watching. Hello? Oops. Can you hear me? Mal? Yep, good. Rob? Mal, I understand you're starting your own channel. Temperature seems to be rising here today. It's been bright sunshine. One day maybe. Paul, hello. I thought I'd come on now. I've had a pretty rotten week. I've never been seriously ill in my life. Never spent an hour in a hospital. Never been on medication. And then suddenly I have a heart problem. Must be age anyway. So they're sorting me out. Doctor says I have to relax. So I thought I'd come on here. Oops. But I can't complain. I'm 58. You'd have to catch up with me one day. The portrait in the attic was looking a bit dodgy lately. So I was up in the attic looking for I knew that I had a box with 3-inch CDs in, which I found. And whilst I was looking up there, I found a box of books. The larger books seem to be in this box. I don't know where the box with the smaller books is. Because when I moved to Finland back in 2000, I packed a lot of my stuff up. My collection of Elvis cassettes went missing. No idea whatever happened to them. Marcus, hello. So I thought I'd drag this stuff out of the attic and have a look at what's in there, because I haven't seen it for over 20 years. If anybody's got any questions, just fire away. Just remember my heart. Paul. 3-inch CDs. I'm going to make a video on them. They didn't seem to be a very successful format. They appeared and disappeared. Marcus, what's your opinion on FTDs? As a concept, it's fantastic. Originally, to bring unreleased material to us fans that didn't warrant a release to the public. And at first, of course, they did the right thing. It was all very simple, budget, cheap, knock it out, we buy it, great. But lately, they seem to have become a collectible label, and I think they've lost sight a bit. These multi-CD packs, the session packs, great, I don't have any problem with them. And the special ones like On Tour and that, fantastic, that's the way it is. Even the movie ones, great. But some of the CD packs now, sort of too expensive. And the limited, I don't agree with limited edition vinyls. It's nice to have if you can buy one. But making it limited edition, to me, defeats the object of the label, which was to get unreleased Elvis material out to us fans. So I wasn't going to buy the blue Hawaii set because I thought it was too expensive. And then I told my wife about it, and she knows that I've got 32 blue Hawaii albums, and she said, well, isn't it a bit daft to collect Blue Hawaii and then not buy the, the ultimate deluxe version? So she persuaded me. I didn't need a lot of persuading, so I have ordered it. So what do you think about the FTD label? Do you think they've gone wrong a bit? I know we'll always buy this stuff. There's always people, if you've got enough money, if you're lucky enough to have them spare money. But it does leave a lot of fans unable to afford it, which is a shame. Like, I only have about half the vinyls. When they first started, I bought the CDs because I thought, well, there's more on the CDs, and I don't have a record player. So later on, I did look at the vinyls. My first purchase, I bought 15 of them in one lump. And I've added since, and I buy all the latest ones. So, but I'm not going to try and fill the gaps because they're just too expensive. I can't pay £500 for an album. Anybody else? Question? Hate the fact that people buy FTD vinyl and it's 650. Yeah, it would be nice if they could find a way of limiting it, one per person, but of course that wouldn't really work. If you wanted to, I could buy one, and then my wife could buy one, and then I could get my friend to buy one. But it was interesting today. I don't know if you saw Johnny on his channel had managed to buy a copy, and when it arrived, there was no limited edition number sticker on it, which and there was no sign that there'd ever been one on it, which is interesting. How many did they actually produce? Makes you wonder. Anyway, whilst we wait for the next question, we'll have a look in the box. Now, I do actually keep a few Elvis books around me, not many. This one, which I love, which hopefully you all got. If you haven't, it's well worth getting. The photographs are just fantastic in this book. I love it. And then two up here. My copy of Elvis Sessions, the second edition. There was a third edition, I didn't get it. There is going to be a fourth edition apparently this year, which from what I've heard is going to be really good, so I'll wait for that one. Put everything back so I know where it is. And my copy of Me and Elvis, which I bought from Charlie Hodge on the day it was issued, number 814. And he signed it for me. So I keep those there. So, in the box, the first one. So this basically is the Elvis Sessions again, but by Ernst. But I do actually prefer Joe Tunz's to that one. And then, of course, The Boy Who Dared to Rock, which everyone should have. There's an early listing of all of Elvis's releases. You can probably pick these up cheaply, second-hand. Some of these my mum actually bought for me when she was out. It's been a while since I've looked through these. I keep hoping that some £20 notes are going to fall out. Did you ever buy Elvis Yours magazine? I did. I had the Elvis Yours magazine. I didn't buy any merchandise. Please read my previous comment. How do I get that out of the way? Got it. Oh, leukemia, regular heartbeat, blood pressure tablets. Yeah, it catches up with us all eventually, doesn't it? I know that it's nothing particularly serious. It just comes as a shock when you never think about your health. I've never been sick, never broken anything, never done anything. And then suddenly this comes along and you're sort of confronted with mortality a bit. It makes you stop and think. Kerry, hello. So the next book that comes out of the box is Elvis and Gladys. I could probably reread all these because it was so long ago. I've actually forgotten most of what's in them. I remember when somebody, who was it, a film critic, he said, I'm looking forward to Alzheimer's so that I forget all the great films and I can watch them again as new. That's one way of looking at it. Private Elvis, Elvis in Germany. Now this one came with a bonus CD, which is up in the rack, and some bonus photographs. King when Elvis rocked the world. I'm going to have to spend some time going through these again. There's probably a lot that are very similar rehashes of the same information. The Elvis Aaron Presley Memorial Album. Of course, when he died. There's actually music. I don't read music. Paul, when I have the health issues, Elvis had. Very true. Very true. I don't know how he kept going. Those around him should have dragged him down and said, you're going into hospital, mate, for 6 months. They've got to sort you out. There you go. I thought the boulevard cover one of the poorest. The new FTD. I can see what you mean about the hair. It does look a bit like a bit of a helmet. It's I don't know about the sound. I still haven't got a record player. I do look at record players and I come up with, I need this and I need that, and I add it all up, and then I look at it and I think I could buy some nice records with that money. There'll have to be an intervention. Somebody's going to have to force me to buy a record player. Boulevard cover inexplicably came from 1971. But Paul, they have to maintain RCA's tradition of completely mismatching the record covers to the contents of the album. It's in the finest traditions. Oops. What we got next? The complete Elvis. Articles, interviews, photographs, A to Z. One of these books has got to have some money in it, surely. I did go through this stage where I did hide money in books. The Illustrated Elvis. All black and white pictures. Elvis, a Golden Tribute Special 50th Birthday Edition. So were there other editions? Oh, we do have some colour photographs. Well, there you go. The Golden Anniversary Tribute. Wonderful. They do seem to like just pack it with black and white photographs, stick a colour cover on it. Why do you keep items in the outlet space? Pretty much, yeah. Like I said, when I moved to Finland, I packed a lot of stuff up and kept it at my parents' house. And when I came back, I retrieved it and put it in the attic. There's still stuff I know I've got that I haven't found. And as I said, my I had a large box full of all the original Elvis cassettes with the orange paper labels, and I've never seen that since. I don't know what happened to it. Everybody denies any knowledge of it, but somebody must have taken it. Elvis in concert. Some nice colour photographs this time. I shall keep that one out and go through that. Not my favourite style of jumpsuit. I don't think it really did him any favours, but Faces and Stages. Black and white photos again. No name. Black and white photos again. No name. Elvis. Text by Dave Marsh. So what we got in here? You see, this is different this time. It's a big book with black and white photos. I see you have a couple of new items on the wall behind you. Do I? Do you mean the frame pictures? And a big Elvis. They've actually been up there for quite a while. I just normally have the camera. The camera seems to be a lot wider when you go live. Don't have many things on the wall. I've got my Elvis calendar here. I have a large framed photograph of Greta Garbo on the wall. I'm a big movie buff, especially sort of the golden era of Hollywood, and I think she was fantastic. She was fantastic. A photo album. I'd forgotten about these. Somebody was selling photographs. Now, I don't know if they'd taken the photographs or if they got them out of books or where they actually came from. But I bought all the ones that they were selling. I might keep that out. Elvis K.D. Kirkland. A few colour pictures, mostly black and white. It's probably the same text in every single one of these books. The Complete Illustrated Record. Again, it's all the US releases by the look of it. Some decent sized pictures. Elvis World. Padded cover. They really were just milking us, weren't they? Like, just get all the same black and white photographs, put a bit of text in, put a colour cover on it, and we'll buy it. And we did. Long Lonely Highway. That's a good book. I do remember that. Elvis a King Forever. And that was Sid Shaw. So I'm really looking forward to the Blue Hawaii box set. Yep. The Blue Hawaii box set does look really good. I haven't decided about the Madison Square Garden set yet. It may surprise you to learn that I haven't bought the Aloha one. Everybody says it's really good. I don't know. I suppose I should buy them, but Wonder why FTD has more Elvis recently than Sony. Yeah, we did. I was talking about FTD a bit earlier and saying I think they've lost their way a bit. They were a fan service, and now they're sort of a collectibles service, it feels to me. They should have stuck to their original release policy. It gives people a chance to save up some money if they want to buy things. But it's now all becoming special editions and limited editions and multi-CD packs. That's not really what that label was supposed to be about, was the way I saw it. So I don't know, are they cashing in? One of the best UK books is Elvis on Record. Elvis on Record. I'll probably have it somewhere, but I don't remember most of these books. Graceland. So, lots of pictures inside Graceland. I don't remember this. I'll have to keep this one out. Trophies. If anyone had been to Graceland in the 80s and has been recently, I'd be interested to know what they think of the display of gold and platinum discs. When I went in 84, there was a long corridor, and all along the corridor on both sides, top to bottom of the wall, it was just lined with discs, and it opened up into the wider room, and there were just gold and platinum discs everywhere, and it was mind-blowing. What I see now, maybe I'm not seeing it all, but what I've seen, it doesn't seem to be the same amount of gold and platinum discs on display. To me, it probably does look impressive, but to me it doesn't look as impressive. Yeah, well, some of the older issues, though, they're so expensive, and I can't see why they're that expensive. What I've been doing, I stopped buying the CDs. It probably sounds like sacrilege, but I couldn't buy on eBay. And every now and then one will appear for like 15, 18, 20 pounds, and I'll buy them. But I won't pay 40, 50, 60, 70 pounds. Danny, hello. Is there a chance one day me and you can share a live stream so I can show my Elvis collection? I don't see why not. I just have no idea how that works. I've done everything very simply here. So, Paul, the gold discs are lost in a huge room. That doesn't do them justice. Yeah. When I went, there was a long corridor, and they just lined this corridor. You just walk down it looking around you. It was really, everybody was like, wow. And then you went opened up to a room, and there were more. I don't understand it when I see these auctions being held by Elvis's estate, and there are gold discs being sold. Very weird. Hopefully they've got more. Do they get given more than one? Because if they're selling the one and only, I think that's outrageous. Yes, Danny, everyone else seems to manage it. I'm sure I'll be able to work it out. I'll look into it, and then we'll see what we can do. You know, the display of gold and platinum discs, I mean, they should have every single disc they can find in there. Because then the effect, I remember Paul McCartney, when he went to visit Graceland, and afterwards he said, I always thought that we, the Beatles, were the biggest selling artists of all time, but now I can see it's definitely Elvis. So that display works. I do wonder about Graceland, what's going to happen. hopefully Lisa Marie's daughters are as committed to keeping it going and keeping Elvis's memory there as she was. But you do find I collect and deal in British campaign medals, and my own family medals I wouldn't sell for any amount. And we do find that it's not the recipient, and it's not the children of the recipient, and usually not the grandchildren, but the great-grandchildren have no connection, didn't know the person, see money signs, get offered money, and they let them go. I would hope that the estate was put into some kind of trust so it couldn't be sold. I don't know what the situation is. All right, there's one more box, one more book in this box, and it's the biggest of the lot. Ugh. Elvis. So the selling point of this book is that it's big. And it's black and white photos. Oh, there is a colour one there. And no doubt the same text. I wonder if anybody actually reads these. All the photographs that you could find. So that's that box. Now somewhere there's a box with all the smaller books in. I just have to keep moving things around. But my house is basically a library. I have different sections. Books on ancient history. I studied Roman history. I'm still fascinated by it. Books on medals, military history. Books on films. Then there's all my records and CDs. I don't have just an Elvis collection. I do collect some other things. So I do have to sneak things in the house because my wife complains, but because I've got so much, she doesn't actually know what's here. One of the 3-inch CDs I've got, I'd actually forgotten about this. It's that one. I don't know if you've come across these. They were given away in American cinemas. If you bought a certain drink, there would be a 3-inch CD in the lid. So, and this was the last Elvis 3-inch CD that was officially produced. I think they only produced about 10 because it didn't seem to be very popular. It never really took off. Not sure how you actually get them out of here, so I've never tried. Having said that, it looks as though you just pull that. Yeah, it opens. I've never actually tried playing one of these. What is this? Elvis Second to None, Blue Suede Shoes and Trouble, bonus Elvis video, a little less conversation. Has anyone ever played a 3-inch CD? Does anyone have any 3-inch CDs? Oh, there you go, back inside. I won't show you the others because I'm going to do a video. What else did I get recently? Somewhere. This. I got this recently. Shake, rattle and roll. That says, you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. No, probably not. Promotional copy not for sale. And it's 18 number ones. Going from Heartbreak Hotel to Suspicious Minds. So that's all the American ones. My Heartbreak Hotel 3-inch came with a white plastic adapter. Alright. Don't think any of mine have got any kind of adapter. Well, I too have a large film collection, Blu-rays 4K, plus my main other collection is Ian Fleming and James Bond. I think there is such a thing as a collecting gene. I have to collect something. I think when you've got it, you've got it. Has anybody got this? Strange blue cover. Can't see a date on it. 1992 BMG Music. Manufactured New York, printed in the USA. Oops. So that was nice. I do like promotional stuff. I was on eBay today and somebody was selling, maybe if I put that light on it might help. Somebody was selling the South African release of Roustabout. I do like releases from around the world. Cover's the same, but I bought it, so I should have that soon. Not sure how many Roustabouts I've got. See if I can spot them. Roustabout, where are you? I did once have all the albums in chronological order, but it's too much trouble. I get lazy sometimes. Let's see, Roustabout. I actually watched the film recently. I hadn't seen it for a long time. I was just looking on YouTube and it came up on YouTube. So I watched it. Roustabout, let's see what we've got. Japanese. Australian. The Australian ones normally have a totally different back cover. Roustabout, Il Cantante del Luna Park. I think it's Italian. That's the Black Label UK one, the latest. That's American Mono. I think it's the original. Have a look. I did recently buy an album that I already had. A loose track. There you go, the mono. I tried to keep my cataloguing up to date, but and then frustratingly I was going through my Paradise Hawaiian styles and I have one listed and it's not there. Not a particularly rare one, but it's just frustrating that I can't find it. Okay, UK Red Label Mono. I do like the red labels, red dots. Brazilian Carousel dos Imocos. So now I can add South Africa. I do need to get the Red Spot Stereo. Harold, hello. What have we got there? I do like to find the releases from around the world where the covers are different. No, I should have said mono and stereo in the 60s. I didn't realise until quite recently that you're supposed to have two different needles. When I was a kid, we just had a record player and whatever you put on, you put on. I don't know if it actually made a lot of difference. Don't know. I ordered the Mean Woman Blues EP CD. Mean Woman Blues EP CD. Is that something new? Not aware of it. It's hard to know where to draw the line, because now that a lot of Elvis's music is public domain, everybody seems to be jumping on the bandwagon. Like I recently bought The Wax Time Loving You, basically because I can't afford £700 for the original Japanese version with that cover. I have to say, I don't particularly like the cover. The pose just looks totally artificial. Anyway, it's the one you showed. One of those. You know, I can't remember. I blame it on my medication. I made the mistake of reading the leaflet that comes in the box, and it said that side effects could range from itchy skin to your head spontaneously exploding. So if that happens, you'll know. Mean Woman Blues EP CD. You'll have to forgive me, my memory is awful at the moment. Mean Woman Blues. You know, right at this moment, I haven't got a clue. A mystery at the moment. Oops. What else have I got recently? I do seem to be continually buying stuff. It's getting a bit ridiculous. Maybe you call it... Right, that's my single. I can't remember. If I've got it, I've got it. I must have it because I showed it. But I don't remember. Aha! Your memory's better than mine. There you go. Mean Woman Blues dub version. Don't think I've ever listened to it. There you go. Oops. Kerry, we sorted it out. It's my bad memory. I've also recently, I like to buy records from the country of origin because it's a lot cheaper. It's from the country of origin because it's a lot cheaper. So, for instance, if you want to buy Japanese singles, if you buy them from a UK dealer, sort of 20-30 pound a piece. Buy them from a Japanese record dealer, and there's some very good ones online, and like £3, £4, £5 a piece. Or of course you can buy them for David at the Elvis in Japan channel. So good luck charm. This was a re-release of Heartbreak Hotel. I was the one. Oops. His latest flame. I've got all the 70s Japanese releases, so I'm filling in some of the earlier stuff. Hound Dog. The early release of Jailhouse Rock. Kiss Me Quick. Sometimes they use the American cover, sometimes they went their own way. Kissing Cousins. One Broken Heart for Sale. I do laugh. If you look at Elvis, they sort of, I think they tried to make him look a bit more Japanese. She's Not You. Such a Night. Where have I got this? Okay. The original Do the Clam. Apparently Do the Clam was very successful. And there is another somewhere. What I've done with it. Must still be in the box. A second pressing in a different sleeve. Anyway, Ain't That Loving You Baby. Oh, You're Lonesome Tonight. And then I've got all the 70s, which I have actually showed in a video. What happened to... Right. So they've got mixed up. Bossa Nova Baby. Crying in the Chapel. Feel So Bad. Viva Las Vegas. It goes into the 70s. Anyway, the other Do the Clam's in there somewhere. So I have all my Japanese there. I have all my boy singles there. My American singles down here. My UK singles next to it. And then international singles. And then here are my gold label. That's gold standard. So I only need one gold standard now to complete it, and that is I Don't Care If the Sun Don't Shine. And again, they can be very expensive, but by just keeping your eyes open, every so often one will turn up at a really reasonable price. Put these back so I know where they are. Certainly getting warm here. I suppose that light doesn't help. So, any more questions? I don't know what you all thought about Agent Elvis. I quite enjoyed it. I thought they should have toned down the language a little bit. There were a few things that I wish they hadn't touched. There's a scene where a young black woman, who's woke, of course, starts accusing Elvis of stealing black music. And I wish they just left that subject alone. We've dealt with that. Forget about it. Move on. But I thought it was funny. And I think Elvis would have laughed at it. And Scatter was funny. Started to collect the red label gold standards. Have you any? Let's have a look. I just happen to have a box next to me. Let's see. J-Las Rock. Viva Las Vegas. Something fell out. I did have all these in order, but they seem to have got mixed up. There we go. Try not to drop these. Mystery Train. Milk Cloud Blues Boogie. So the answer is yes, I do have some. Loving You. It's No One Ever. These are all mixed up because I've got a load of the black ones. I've got some of the original ones. I will have to sort them out at some point. I'll add it to my very long list of things that I need to do. Heartbreak Hotel. So yes, I do have some red. Got 46. Blimey, you're beating me. I think the gold standard label just shows how massively popular Elvis was. No other artist has got all of their singles kept in production. Curtis, hello. Oops. Curtis, we've already discussed how the Follow That Dream label has gone wrong. It seems to be aimed at collectors rather than the fans. When do you think your book is coming out? I had a problem with the book. The publisher that was interested in publishing it wanted to make some significant changes, especially with photographs. And I thought about it and I thought, no, I spent 20 years putting this book together. This is how I want it done. So I've decided I'm going to publish it myself. And I have the first batch of copies, should be here within a couple of weeks. So we'll see how it goes. I sent one of the sample copies to the military attaché at the Finnish embassy in London. A very nice letter back, and they want some more. So that's nice. And they want to send one to the British military attaché in Helsinki. So it's a good start, and we'll see how it goes. For anyone that hasn't seen my book, I'm sure you'll all be fascinated. Oops. I do pretty much buy things every week. My postman, we have a laugh every time he comes to the door. Sometimes he says, "Oh, you've won the lottery this time," and hands me like 4 LP boxes and 3 packets of CDs. And it is, I just love collecting. The fun of tracking things down. And oops. I knew I had the bug when I was a kid. I helped my dad with his milk round, and when he collected the coins in the big leather bags they used to carry, I used to help him count it. And I noticed all the different coins. Curtis, I love to order stuff, yep. Because UK coins, I don't know if it was the same in America, we had quite old coins still in circulation for a long time. Now, FTD has always been a collector's label. It's just the releases have been limited editions, especially vinyls. Yeah, I agree. But they were collectors in that they were aimed at the fans. So they were quite reasonably priced when they first came out. I think they should have stuck to releasing mostly single CDs, maybe 3 or 4 a year, spaced out. I like the sessions boxes and the special boxes for, special occasions. Curtis, I'm done with FTD because of the high price. Yeah, it is a bit much now. Harold, do you have rare concerts on vinyl or CD? I used to have a large cassette collection of concerts, because back in the 70s and 80s in the UK it was not easy to find bootlegs. Maybe in London you could pick some up. I never saw one. I live in Gloucestershire, which is a very sort of, well, it used to be a very agricultural sort of area. But through joining the Elvis fan club, there was a particularly active branch in Gloucester, which is, what, 15-20 minutes drive from Cheltenham. And I went to some of their events, and they had a chap there who was selling concerts on cassette. So of course I kept, he would send me a list. So I had a big collection of them, but they vanished with my cassette collection. I do have some bootleg CDs and albums, though. It's not only FTD prices increased, everything in collectors gone up in price. Absolutely. Yeah. That's the problem. When you're collecting, it becomes a serious financial investment. See, my problem is when FTD things like the original Viva Las Vegas book and stuff like that came out, yeah, it was more expensive, but it was affordable. I didn't buy them because I wasn't collecting the books. But now they seem to be releasing them at an inflated price. Now maybe they want to cash in on the fact they do make this money, and you can't blame them, I suppose. Why should somebody else make the big profit? But it is a shame. Matt C, hello, what kind of posters and pictures do you have on your wall? I don't have many. The one at the back is from Madison Square Gardens, and I had that printed myself. It was in Sean Shaver's book. It's in this book. And I always thought it was a fantastic photograph. Elvis is midair. And so I took a very high resolution scan of it and I sent it off to a printer and asked him to turn it into a poster. So that's that. Those 2 album covers, there was a chap on eBay who was selling them. So I bought those too. I've got my Elvis calendar. And down here I have a nice large one of Elvis. I'll show you. Which I would like on the wall, but fantastic shot. Rubber legs. But it's so big I've got nowhere to actually hang it. So those are the only Elvis ones I've got on the walls. Oops. Mr. Shane, Prince Elvis Jackson, FTD, I've noticed it. Yep, Mr. Shane actually brought that up a bit earlier. Very strange. And it looked as though there'd never been one on there, which does leave some questions. Kerry, I've noticed that Elvis CD prices are going up on eBay. Yeah, it's all us mad collectors. And I suppose channels like this and all the channels are encouraging people to collect again. Malwash, maybe Boulevard has been repressed. I'm split on that. I don't think that they should do... when they do limited editions, it should be a limited numbered edition and then extra for the people that want it. Maybe at a slightly reduced price. But if you say something's limited, then it should be limited. And it should be stamped on the piece itself, not on a sticker. Say that Johnny's copy did have a sticker on it and it came off at some point. Well, that's that. Does it make a difference? Well, I suppose it does. If you're a collector, you're going to want one with a sticker on it. You're going to want to know what number it is. Though, Mal, I do think they should repress the vinyls. Now that, of course, I have Blue Hawaii and Standing Room Only. But if they were to say we're going to repress it for fans who don't have it, I would have no problem with that. Even though it would obviously... would it reduce it? I suppose if they changed the... repress them, but make it clear that they are represses. I would have no problem with that. I would like to fill the gaps. There you go. And they'll make money. I mean, where is the lose here? I'm sure we all agree. Well, there'll be some investor somewhere sitting on a load of them, gnashing his teeth. We had that problem in the medal collecting world. Some investment portfolios. There were several articles back in the early 2000s about how the value of medals, British campaign medals, had outperformed a lot of other investments, and we suddenly had investors buying them up and the prices went up. So us collectors were priced out of the market on some of these things, and these people are sitting on quantities of medals that they have no interest in. It's not good. They could repress and put an ARIA, absolutely. Or how about this? The FTD Camden label. Repress them as Camdens. There you go. I don't understand why they won't do it. They know they'll sell. Anyway. And we've got 11 people. And I've been going about an hour. Now, one thing I hope you noticed, I put that I would start at 7, and I started spot on 7. I do a lot of work with the military, and if you say 7, you mean 7. So I always, if I'm flying abroad, I arrive at the airport 4 hours early. I'd rather be 4 hours early than a minute late. There you go, FTD Camden there. Let's get them to do it. Let's start the campaign. Oops. What time is it? 8. So, what else have I bought recently? I buy so much stuff and it just gets piled up waiting to be sorted out. I've been getting some more of the early CDs that I missed out on. I did buy a lot of the early ones, but I'm looking for all the ones with PD prefix. So I picked that up recently. And the Essential Elvis, I had the 3 volumes on CD, but one of them was a later pressing. But now I have the 3 PDs. Kerry, how many more years do you think the FTD has left? That's a good question. I think they are getting pretty near the bottom of the barrel. Thought there were 6 Essential Elvis CDs. Yeah. I'm not sure. I haven't actually looked. It's a bit like there are, I think, something like 7 or 8 legendary performers, but they're not the official follow-ons. They're things that people have put out. I don't know about that. I'll have to have a look. Are they official RCA BMG releases? 100 years. Oh, right. 100, yeah. You know, I don't include that for some reason. I suppose because it suddenly jumps to the 70s. Where is it? I think you're right. 100 years from now. Yeah, you're right. Essential Elvis Volume 4. I never think of that. Such a night. I don't, in my brain, I don't include them as part of it. To me, the Essential Elvis releases are the 350s. Such a night, where is it? Such a night. Volume 6. So what's the other one? What am I forgetting? Rhythm and Country. You got a better memory than me. Rhythm and Country. There you go. Volume 5. It's there on the CDs. So I've got all 6 volumes of Essential Elvis. Thank you for pointing that out. Funny how the brain works sometimes. Adios, the final performance. I've seen on YouTube some really good high quality video from Elvis in concert. Really well done. Adolfo, hello. Brazil. Hello in Brazil. I was showing a Brazilian album just now. Roustabout. And I've got Paradise Hawaiian style. I like the Brazilian covers because they're different. Harold, do you have Elvis Rock, Elvis Country? Elvis Rock, Elvis Country. I don't know. I don't recognise the title. But then, as you just saw, Adolfo, a large community of Elvis fans in Brazil. Fantastic. Fantastic. I've seen some videos on YouTube with Brazilian fans. Luckily, the subtitles are turned on, so I have watched some. Do you have a channel? Do you have the Brazilian version of the first album? No, I don't. No. I don't have many Brazilian albums. There's a Christmas album as well that I would like to get from Brazil. Can't remember how many I've got. I've got a few, but they're mostly film soundtracks. Curtis, I have 2 CDs from Brazil. Good Rockin' Tonight, Volumes 3 and 4. Ah, Curtis, and I see the collector in me cringes. Where's Volume 1 and 2? like to say that I love to watch your videos. Thank you, Adolfo. My wife said nobody would watch. She said I was boring. What's wrong with being boring? Being boring about Elvis is good. Daniel, what do you think of the Desert Storm drug speech Elvis did? I don't like to hear. I don't like to listen to things like that. It's difficult. It's hard to imagine what he went through. I think he held it together pretty well when you think. But it's not surprising that occasionally he had problems. Because they say that when Elvis What Happened came out, he was very worried about the reaction he would get from the fans on his next tour. Which surprises me. You would have thought that he would have known that we were on his side. Yeah. But as you said, we've never walked in his shoes. There are occasionally concerts where he says things and you sort of cringe a little bit. Danny, I only read the book once. Elvis What Happened, just chucked it in the loft. It's strange. When I read Elvis What Happened, I like the fact that I learnt something more about him and that he was a human being, that he had problems, but that he was a fantastic guy. And it actually made me admire him even more. But like you, I only read it the once. I've got it probably in the box of smaller books somewhere, my original copy. But I think if they really cared about him, they should have written the manuscript, handed it to him and said, Elvis, read this, and not published it. But there you go. Harold, you're not boring. Okay. Oh, I wish my wife was around. I'd have to play this back to her. It's not boring talking about the world's greatest entertainer. Absolutely. Giovanni, hello. Thoughts on the new Blue Hawaii box set? We talked about it earlier. It looks fantastic. I'm sure it will be fantastic. I like the fact that it's got is it 1 EP, 2 EPs in there? Very expensive. I mean, is it justifiably that expensive? I don't know. Cost of publishing books did fall dramatically. Or are they cashing in? Are they producing very high quality things, but cashing in a little bit? Because, of course, all these earlier FTD books that now fetch vast sums of money were a lot cheaper when they were actually sold originally. And I do wonder if they're thinking these are going to go dramatically up in value, so we'll charge more now. But I am going to get it. As I said, I had at one point thought, no, I won't get it. But then it was pointed out to me that if I've got 32 copies of Blue Hawaii, I'm collecting it. Why would I not buy the ultimate version? So I took a deep breath and stuck it on the credit card. Danny B said Parker just pushed him. He did. Yeah. And I think there were other people around him that were using him. Whether they were consciously, deliberately, maybe not. But I think they do have to look at themselves and think, we should have done better by him. He stood by everybody. He gave everybody a great life. Anybody needed medical help, he was there. They couldn't pay their mortgages, he was there. Gifts, a great time, holidays, they had it all. And yeah, they should have done better by him. Mystery Train, I'm going to wait for the Blue Hawaii CD set. Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you, because, all right, I'm going to buy it. I'll probably look through the books once or twice, and then they'll go on the shelf, and I'll very rarely look at them. Whereas the CDs I'll play. I actually had a set of bootleg cassettes, which were called the Blue Hawaii Sessions. And from memory, it was pretty complete. And they were sessions that I did enjoy listening to. Sometimes you get these session things, you play it once, and you're there. But they were actually sessions that I enjoyed listening to. I liked the songs. He was in good humour. I know some people find it odd that you're prepared to sit there and listen to 16 takes of the same song, but I enjoy it. Because there are times when take one is quite radically different to the final master version. Square Garden. Yeah, as I said earlier, I've actually not bought the Aloha from Hawaii one. Everybody says it's probably the best version of it sound-wise, so eventually I'll pick it up. But I feel the same with the Madison Square Garden. Why do I need to buy it? I've got all those vinyl album versions. I've got it on CD. I've got Prince from Another Planet. Do I really need to buy it? So, at the moment, I haven't ordered it. I saw somewhere that a non-book box set was coming out. Makes sense. You mean Blue Hawaii? Yes. They're supposed to, yeah, they will. They've said release the CDs without the book. So I don't blame anybody for just waiting for that. David, hello. Giovanni, 17 takes of the same song. Yep. Absolutely. Oh dear. I was watching, what was it on? Somebody's channel, and they were talking about the 1977 studio session in Nashville, which was booked, and the band turned up, the backing singers turned up, Felton Jarvis turned up, everything was ready to go, and Elvis didn't turn up. And they have a list. In fact, I think it's in, is it in Joe Tons's book, or is it in the other one? They actually have a list of some of the songs that were confirmed were going to be recorded. If I can find it. Was it in this one, or was it in the other one? It might be in the other one. The other one, which is now at the very bottom of my stack of books. I think it was in here. Let's have a look. So I don't know if you're all aware of this studio session that was due to take place. RCA wanted some songs to finish off the Moody Blue album. See if it's... Where was it? It was in one of these. I'll catch up with the chat in a second. Right. Dubs. I remember one of the songs. There we go. So they had booked the Creative Workshop in Nashville from January the 20th to the 24th, 1977. And they do have a list of songs that had been pre-selected. That's What You Do to Me by Bob Morrison, Energy by Bob Morrison, Rainy Night in Georgia, Tony Joe White, Day by Day, Dennis Lindy, Let Me On, Lane Martin Jr., and Yes I Do, Alan Rush. And everybody turned up except Elvis. What a great shame. Now then, let's catch up. Curtis, I wish they'd do That's the Way It Is 50th on FTD, just put out the CDs. Yep, absolutely. Though there are many bootlegs now that just have the CDs. Adolfo, I have the big box of the Elvis on tour released by Amiga. Oh, I would like that. Yeah, I've seen that. I don't have it. Well done. I should imagine it's very expensive if you can find it now. What's the difference? Don't know because I don't have it, unfortunately. You send me yours and I'll look at the difference. Harold, if you like Bob Dylan, do you like Donovan? Not really listen to Donovan. There's no reason why I wouldn't. I just never listened to him. I just think Bob Dylan's just a one-off. David, it's my understanding that the new Madison Square Garden set is identical into Prince from Another Planet, which I've got. So, yeah, I'm not particularly inspired. When I look at it, I think, well, I can spend that on something else that I don't have. The completist in me sort of thinks I should buy it, but I haven't got Aloha yet. Mystery Train, there's a documentary coming out called Steve and Elvis about 68 comeback special. Ah, right. I shall look out for that then. There are some good interviews with Steve on YouTube where he talks about making the special, which are very interesting. Kerry, MSG is just a cash cow for film. Yeah, I agree. I think the time has come to do something fitting with Elvis in concert. I know they don't like they don't want to promote it at all, it seems. But actually, he sounds fantastic, and there are some parts of the performances where he doesn't look as bad. I know that the one show, is it Omaha, where he looks a bit off, a bit down, but sounds fantastic. I think the time has come to do something fitting with that. There have been some bootleg sets which have been done, which look very nice. I don't have any of them. But as I said, on YouTube now, there are some really high quality videos that have been done. So long as they handle it in the right way, I think the time has come to actually do something with it. Curtis, yeah, they need to put those in context. Absolutely, Curtis, yep. David, what's your view on the vinyl curtain box set? I got a chance to buy it. I never bought it. Is this the really expensive one you're on about? Personally, I'd wait. I would wait, hoping that they are going to do something official with it. Harold, Elvis in concert is available online. The TV special was fixed up very well. Right, so that might be where these videos are coming from then. I was impressed with the quality of them. Adolfo, I really love to listen to the Elvis in concert album. Yep, I remember when they showed it in the UK. And I don't know where we got it from, but my dad had a reel-to-reel tape machine. And so the whole family sat to watch it. So I set it up with the microphone in front of the television. And we all sat watching. And it was a pretty devastating thing to watch at the time. still sort of gets to me a bit now when I think about it. But the tape recording was fantastic quality. So for years I had that, and like all things, it vanished. Probably got thrown out and the tape with it. But yeah, Adolfo, yeah, he's in fantastic voice. The power. And I like that every now and then when he hits a really strong note, he sort of smiles and looks round as if to say, yeah, I've still got it. David, Boxcar Limited, 500 copies. Right. If it's really expensive, I would want to know what the quality's like. I don't know. Curtis, I like because you gave me a mountain on my way from the concert. Yeah. He put in some grandstand performances. Despite being very ill, he shouldn't have been on stage. He should have been in a hospital. Mystery Train, poor Charlie Hodge ruined that one CD in the box set. The microphone really picked up his voice. Yeah. I don't really understand why Charlie Hodge was always singing along behind him. People went to hear Elvis. The backing singers, they add something, but Charlie was just mimicking Elvis. So I don't really understand. But Charlie was a great guy. I think Charlie was one of those who really did care about Elvis. Yeah, I don't really know why he was always singing. David, do you know if there are huge differences between the FTD, the Young Room sessions, and the FTD classic album? David, you're on. You're up. This is your moment. The spotlight's on you. We're all waiting. What have I got? What have I got? I missed out. I did find on a website an RCA Special Products American album, Elvis Country, two LPs, nice cover, reasonable price. I kept looking at it and I kept looking at it, and I put it in the buy it now box and then took it back out again and kept looking at it, and I went back and somebody bought it. Giovanni, while we are on the live shows, I picked up Rocking with Elvis New Year's Eve Pittsburgh on Spirit of America label. Is this the original bootleg? Oh, let me have a look. Oops. Got this. This is one of the ones I bought when I went to Memphis in 1984. Fantastic show. So who's... Oh yeah, Spirit of America. Yeah. Now, of course, they're bootlegging the bootlegs. So you can buy new versions of this. Serves them right. UT. But yes, blue cover, that's the one. Yes, it sounds great. Yep. Yeah, FTD released it. I haven't got it. I don't know if the sound quality was improved. Curtis was in the bootlegging gang. Yes, Adolfo, the bootleggers were better at it than RCA in some ways. Harold, I have New Year's on FTD CD. Yeah, I do. Harold, I don't have it. I wonder if the sound quality's improved. I wonder if it came from the same source. FTD should do the 1975 New Year's Eve concert. Was that the Pontiac one? Is there a good recording from it? I don't know. It's surprising just how many of his concerts they actually did record. Giovanni, okay, thanks guys. It's not arrived yet. I only won it last night on eBay. All right. So on bootleg, pretty good sound. All right. I'm sure FTD will get around to it eventually. I was hoping they would get in touch about my 6 CD Having Fun with Elvis on Stage set. But I haven't heard anything. Shocked. Rocking Back the Clock. Yeah. I have a few bootleg CDs, not many. But then these days, what is a bootleg CD? Because nobody seems to be bothered about stopping it. So is it really bootleg anymore? How much of Elvis's music is still under copyright? I don't know. Curtis, Ed would have fun. Ed already had a go at me about it. He threatened me. He said if they do it, he'll come after me. But I did include in the description that each one would come with a certificate signed by Ed in his capacity as president of the Having Fun with Elvis on Stage Appreciation Society. I mean, I thought he would have appreciated that. Harold, the 1975 New Year's Eve show was the biggest crowd he played for, yeah. It's ridiculous when you think how small the crowds, the venues they put him in. He was playing in venues like, 11, 12,000 people. And other rock bands and that were playing in stadiums of 50, 60, 70,000 people. And of course, he should have been performing around the world. I think after Aloha, that should have been the world tour. That would have kept his interest going. And it would have been probably the biggest world tour in history. I mean, can you imagine? I try and imagine what it'd be like, the Lisa Marie touching down at Heathrow Airport. Everywhere he went, he would have been besieged. They could just sold out everywhere. And it was a real kick in the guts when I read that he was actually in the process of negotiating a stadium in London, that the Lisa Marie had been licensed for international flight, that his costume designer had been told to start preparing costumes for London. And this has been confirmed by several people, including Priscilla. He told her that he was going to perform in London. Yeah, what could have been? Oh, we're up to 17 people now. Anyone that hasn't said hello, just say hello. Adolfo, think that Elvis should have travelled touring around the world since '69. It would have been fantastic. It would have been fantastic. It's hard to imagine, but all those people who saw him in 1969 just said he was just completely unbelievable. It was just so good that it was, beyond anything. Paul, can we solely blame the Colonel for stay-at-home? No, I agree, Paul. Elvis should have taken control. I think he should have sacked the Colonel. He should have parted ways with him. Elvis, as an artist, outgrew the Colonel within 2 or 3 years. The Elvis Appreciator, Italy. Hello, Italy. What part of Italy are you in? I studied Roman history. I'm still crazy about Roman history. I've got shelves full of books. I keep up with all the latest discoveries. I even tried to learn Latin once. When my wife, after I come back from the doctors, my wife asked me what was wrong, and I said, I'm suffering from a particularly rare condition. It's called vita conjugalis. And she looked at me a bit concerned. That's Latin for married life. No, the only reason Elvis didn't tour abroad was Parker. Yeah, Parker did block him. Yeah. Kerry, I think Elvis going to the UK would have been bigger than the Beatles. Absolutely. I don't think he understood how much the UK loved him. I mean, I remember a disc jockey. There used to be a show where they played old songs, and he played Trouble. You know, they'd do like the charts from a particular year. And he said the song was only at number 30 in the charts, he said, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter if Elvis was at number 30 or number 300. Everybody knew he was the king. Yeah, it would have been crazy here. Thank you, the Elvis Appreciator. That's the only bit of Latin I can remember. But I always keep that one in store. Remember, you might get the disease. Vita conjugalis. Harold, Elvis was loyal, so he stayed with the Colonel. Yeah. Yeah. When you think where Elvis came from, absolute poverty. He wrongly, I think, linked his success to Parker, but I don't agree. Elvis was the biggest rising star in the world. He had everything. He was going to be massive, no matter who was managing him. And Parker was a very low-level operator, carnivals. And that was his mentality. If Elvis had had a serious professional manager who knew how to handle an artist, he'd have been negotiating at a higher level. Elvis was treated like he was some low-level B celebrity in a lot of ways. And it harmed his career, it harmed his image. And yet he achieved so much, but could have achieved far more. Curtis, yep, off to play games. Thanks for dropping in, Curtis. See you again. Adolfo, I'm Brazilian. I must ask, what are your perceptions about popularity of Elvis and Beatles in UK? Are they more or less on the same level? I would say Elvis is more popular. The Beatles have a very strong following, but you never really hear anything about them. But you do about Elvis. I think the main difference is in the music press. The music press these days look down on Elvis at every opportunity. The Beatles are treated like they're gods, and Elvis is like this, sellout has-been that was never that good. That's my impression I get from the music press. Not all of them, of course, but generally that's how it appears to me. The Elvis Appreciator, I'm a great fan of your videos. Thank you very much. I really must show my wife this stream. Adolf would say I was more popular. Yep, I agree. Giovanni, maybe Elvis should have got Peter Grant from Led Zep. Be interesting. Who should have managed Elvis? I don't know if he would have been. there are two people that I wish Elvis had kept around to work with: Steve Binder and the name's just gone out of my head. The Memphis Sessions, the producer. Put me out of my misery. The name's just gone from my brain. Damn. The more I try and think of it, the further away it'll get. Oh, somebody, put me out of my misery, quick. Damn it. Chips Momon, absolutely. Now imagine if Steve Binder and Chips Momon had, I mean, they probably didn't manage. I think maybe you should have had two managers. The manager that handled the business side and artistic managers. Steve Binder and Chips. What would they have produced with Elvis? Paul, Beatles' perception is that did nothing mediocre and everything they did was superior. Paul, my dad trained as a cinema projectionist. I have told this story before in a video. The first film he showed was King Creole, so we bought the single. That was the first Elvis record I ever heard. I've still got it. Now, he also trained on lighting. So when there were live shows at the cinema, he would set the lighting up. He did shows with the Beatles, Cliff Richard, Rolling Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Roy Orbison. And I remember him saying once, of all of them, the one that really impressed him was Roy Orbison. And I asked him about the Beatles, and his comment was, it's a good job the girls were screaming because they couldn't hear how awful they were. I'm not saying the Beatles were awful. Maybe they weren't that good live at the time. But they're a pop band. They were a very good pop band, a hugely successful and very influential pop band. But yeah, they just did nothing for me. Just left me cold. Kerry, it seems Elvis is not near as big here in the States as he should be. Perhaps he's just too, he was just too, omnipresent. Didn't appear to be exotic because he didn't come from overseas, maybe. He came from the deep south. I mean, did that factor into it? I don't know. Strange how fame works. But what is good, of course, is that generations of rock stars and music stars have all paid homage to him at one time or another. I think because they understand, being in the business themselves, they understand what he did, what he achieved. And he doesn't get the credit. He doesn't get the credit for the fact that he produced himself. And I think he was probably the first to produce himself. Look what happened at the Oscars. Yeah, I wasn't surprised. I was hoping. I think Austin Butler deserved to win. I saw The Whale, and I think it's one of those roles that's deliberately made to be Oscar worthy. I didn't like the film, didn't like the subject, didn't like the part he played. He played it well. But what actually won it for him? The makeup? I don't know. So I wasn't surprised that he won it, and I don't begrudge him winning it. I just think Austin Butler's achievement was far greater as an actor. Paul, I've always thought the UK appreciated Elvis far than the Americans. Yep. I don't know if any of you remember this, but when Elvis died, there was a drama written by somebody well known, name escapes me, about the night Elvis died. And one of the things always stuck in my head. There's a group of teddy boys out on the street and tears in their eyes and that. And one of them says, "You should have fucking lived in the UK. We'd have looked after him." I always remember that. I don't know if any of you remember seeing it. I'll try and find out what it was. Oops. I'm always battling to keep the albums upright, particularly on some of these shelves. They all want to lean over. I might have to get some kind of dividers, I think. Mal, I remember that it was on the news. Right, am I getting confused? There was a drama as well. Maybe I've got those two parts confused. Yeah. I'll show you something recently I picked up. I've got a lot of That's the Way It Is, but I finally managed to get the vinyl of this set. I had it on CD, of course. But finally, Deluxe 30th Anniversary Limited Edition Vinyl. So I think the only vinyl set I still need to find is the Elvis Live in Las Vegas one. I think I've got all the others. Giovanni, yep, it's a great set, yeah. Paul, slight tangent, but why isn't Elvis regarded as a US veteran and honoured as such? Is he not? Although in America at the moment, like a lot of places, the world seems to have had a mental breakdown. People who serve their country and obey the law are looked down upon, and criminals and... you know what I'm saying. Giovanni, did you get round to buying a turntable yet? No. I look, and I sort of put together a package from what I can find that I think, yeah, that'd be good. There are a couple of really good hi-fi record player shops in Cheltenham. They're a little bit intimidating. I don't know if you find that. I don't know why. And I put it all together and I come up with a price and I think, yeah, I can afford that. I can do that. And then I see the blue Hawaii box set coming up and something else I've been looking for, and the money goes on that. Peter, hello. I only have CD version. Yeah, I'm sure we've all got the CD version. What I like to do, I don't know if you do this. Where is the CD? There. There. So I like to get the CD version, and then if I can see it, is that it there? I like to get the promo as well. Now I do wonder about promos. I think that promos these days are made for the collector, not to promote the product. They seem to be very easily available. I can't see the point in sending this to a radio station. Would you send it to a radio station? So I think they're made to be collected. That's my opinion. I don't know what you think. I like them, but I have serious doubts. Kerry, what is your Elvis Holy Grail? I don't know if I have one now. At the moment, it used to be to get a Sun record, and I was lucky to get a 45 and a 78, and that was such a big thing for me. You know, as a 12-year-old kid drooling over a magazine that showed the Sun singles and thinking, oh my God, one day I want one of these, and finally getting it. That sort of filled that hole. So what is my Holy Grail now? I'm not going to say another Sun single, because just getting the ones I've got sort of that did it for me. It'd be nice to have them all, of course, but so what would my Holy Grail be now? It's a good question. I'm going to have to think about that. I still don't have an American Elvis's first album, which I would like. Holy Grail. I suppose in terms of rarity, it would be nice to have the UK pressing of Take Good Care of Her, which is a very little thing. You wouldn't. It's not like a Holy Grail, but it's just something that I've never seen. I don't know anybody that's ever had it, but apparently it is out there. Richer Sounds. I don't know if we have one of those. Project Classic. Paul, every man and his dog have them promos. Yep. I don't think they are genuine promos anymore. Back when it was vinyl records and radio play was important, then yes. What was on here? So promos like that I believe were sent to radio stations. That's different. But these modern ones, no, I think they're just to be collected. Giovanni, Rega P1 would be good as a starter. I'll make a note and have a look. I may shock you all one day. I'll do a live stream and there'll be a record player on the screen. I'm normally surrounded by notepads. Ah, there you go. Rego P1. I shall have a look. What is your favourite of the US Elvis Sun CDs? As a set, I really like this. The Complete Works. It's pretty complete, and they included what they call the dry versions, which is as he recorded them without the echo and everything added. Really nicely done. So I think I will go with that one if, you know, Desert Island Discs. Of course, there's those two that I showed on a video, which are hard to find and quite expensive, whereas everything's on there. So if you're only going to get one, I'd get that. Adolfo, what's your favourite Elvis studio album and live album? It's like asking me which arm do I want to cut off, the right or the left. I think it's horrible to choose one because you're leaving other fantastic ones out. But if I'm absolutely forced to, it's got to be from Elvis in Memphis. Studio albums. But then that means leaving out Elvis's back and Promised Land. I have a very soft spot for Promised Land. But it'd have to be from Elvis in Memphis. Live. I actually find the live album more difficult to choose. And at the moment, I can't. Because I can think of really good reasons to choose every single one of them. Mal, my holy grail at the moment is the stereo UK gatefold of Elvis's back. Can't remember seeing one. I don't think have I got it? I honestly haven't got a clue. I'll have to have a look. Super, yes, Garon. Jesse Garon. I was trying to make it into a Swedish name then. Nice collection, congratulations, thank you. I'm sure we've all got nice collections. Quite often, we sort of don't appreciate what we've got. We think, oh, that person's got more than me, he's got something else, blah, blah, blah. Well, we've all got nice collections. Harold, do you have the original Moody Blue CD? The original Moody Blue CD. ND prefix. It's the one that, as far as it's the first one I saw for sale. Because of course all the ones you see now have got different picture on the front cover. It is a very strange front cover. Little Elvis right at the bottom. Didn't really work. They could have enlarged him or something, so I can understand why they changed it. Is that the one you mean? Paul, rather than a live stream, have you considered a get-together for those in the UK? Sure, we'd have plenty to talk about. I don't know if people would really want to travel. It's like the Elvis Club in Gloucester that used to hold events. Eventually they gave up because people just didn't want to travel. Harold, do you have the one with the blue label? I think that's the only Moody Blue I've got. The one with the blue label. Not sure what that is. I'll have to have a look. Is it something I need to have? I wasn't sort of really collecting the CDs. I was just buying the, one appeared. I didn't have it. I bought it. So I think I've got all the original albums on CD, as far as I can remember. Well, in fact, I bought the 60 CD box set. But I am going back now to the beginning to sort of fill in the gaps. So like I showed in the video, I've got all the 1984 CDs. Kerry, do you collect the Elvis releases from 78 to 23? Unfortunately, I have been. I shouldn't have. I should have said no, 77. That's what I'm saying. Where does he draw a line? Because Elvis's music became public domain, so everybody's releasing their own version of it. So where does it stop? Do I really need to buy every re-release of an Elvis album? Well, the answer is no. But it's nice to have some of them. Harold, 1988. I'll have to have a look at that. I'll make a note. 1988, Moody Blue. Of course, one of the problems is you have the UK and European version, and then you have the American version, and there's an Australian version. 1988, Moody Blue. I'll look into it. And we can't buy everything as much as I'd like to. Mal, my best Elvis mate lives in Ross-on-Wye. Maybe we could all meet up sometime. Yeah, Ross-on-Wye is not that far from Cheltenham. My main problem is I don't drive. I've never had to. I suppose the thing to do is find out where everybody lives and come up with a sort of pretty central location that's not difficult to get to. The only problem with that, of course, is it means leaving our collections behind. Recently, as I said, I've been looking at CD singles from around the world. If I can remember where I put them. So I bought a little package and I've put them somewhere safe. What are these? I can't remember where I've put them. I try to be organised, but I obviously fail. No, they're here somewhere. Lost. I picked up some Dutch CD singles, which were nice, but I filed them somewhere. Harold, I like the 1978 album He Walks Beside Me. Yep. Yeah. Oh, sunny Shropshire. It's been sunny today. We've had a warm day. It feels like spring at last. David, have you put your stickers on the 60 CD set? No, I haven't. Should I? Paul always had a soft spot for UK Elvis in Demand. Yeah. Yeah. I liked Elvis in Demand. It's a damn shame when I think back sort of 1976, 77. 1976, I was 11, 12. And they put out Girl of My Best Friend on a single, which had done well. And Suspicion, which had done well. And then Moody Blue came out. And there was a real buzz. I thought, oh, Elvis is coming back. So we were looking forward, to things improving, and then he went and died, the stupid man. Peter, I've started to collect the UK red spot hard to find in Sweden. Do you have them all? I don't have them all, but I do like the red spot. I just think it looks great. I've got a lot of them. Mal's been collecting them as well. There are a few of the stereo ones which are hard to find in a decent shape. Roustabout, Frankie and Johnny. I'm finding it hard to find a nice copy in stereo. Annoyingly, you see them for sale where the album is stereo, but the cover is the mono one. And I think they must have been sold like that. Danny, you've got Frankie and Johnny red spot stereo. Well done. Yeah, not so easy to find. Adolfo, what's the difference between Elvis Boyfriend Tupelo set and the Memphis recording set? Now, I've got the Boyfriend Tupelo set somewhere. Where is it? I'm probably staring straight at it and can't see it. I've got it somewhere. Now, I have to say, I bought it, I put it on the shelf, and I never opened it. Because my thinking is, I've already got it all. Danny can see it. I'm blind. Where is it? You can never see what's right in front of your eyes. So I suppose this is the official version of that. Well, this is probably more complete. So maybe I should actually listen to it. Because I'm embarrassed to say I bought it, put it on the shelf, and didn't actually look at it. You're making all this work for me. Man, I got all the mono red spots, Missing Gold Records, Volume 3, Girl Happy, and How Great Thou Art in stereo. I've seen How Great Thou Art in stereo, because I did think of buying it. Girl Happy. I've seen Girl Happy as well on eBay. Stereo. You're doing better than me. I'm still missing a few. Harold, the book is excellent. Yes, I shall make an effort to look at it and listen to it. Port, and I think that's US sales and also stuff in 50 was not included as the date started in 58. John, I missed yours. Just starting your stream from the beginning and looked into biggest selling artist and it's Beatles. I would say, yeah, John, that's complete and utter nonsense. Even Garth Brooks has said that's total rubbish. And even Paul McCartney has said Elvis has sold more. Total rubbish. And even Paul McCartney has said Elvis has sold more records than the Beatles. Even he said that. There does seem, first of all, I think they're talking about American sales. and even that's wrong. And secondly, there has been an effort amongst certain elements of the music press to downplay Elvis's. They changed the rules on the US number ones to make him no longer the leading number one, most number ones in America, even though he had the most number one in America. They disqualified a lot of his early ones through some technicality. So just look at the quantity of Elvis records that are available around the world and his sales around the world. Garth Brooks has not sold more records than Elvis. The Beatles haven't sold more records than Elvis. Of course, a lot of Elvis's sales now are never going to be counted. That's one of the problems. Danny, I'll look into it. Why don't you start a channel? Trust me, if I can do this, anybody can do it. And Mal. We'll form the Elvis Channel Alliance. So what else can you see that I can't see? I've actually got quite a few boxed things that I bought and put on the shelf and never actually opened because I've got it all elsewhere. Like I bought these still sealed because I've got the vinyl versions up there and I've got the CD versions up there, but I just like the fact that it was in this little compact, so I bought it, but I've never opened it. Probably never will. Why would I open it? Live 69. Yep, that I have listened to. Harold, they now count Elvis as a catalogue artist, which is bullshit. Yeah. Yep. The music press used to love Elvis when he was alive. They recognised him for what he was. But these days... David, trying to obtain the sound of your cry on CD. Have I got that? Or is that one of the ones I... don't think I've got that. I haven't actually looked for it. I just keep an eye on eBay. And eventually these things turn up. Occasionally on Discogs, though. I'm not keen on Discogs because you can't see what you're actually buying. When you want a very specific pressing, I was looking for one and I wanted it on the blue label, and there were 6 available, and I sent a message to all 6 of them saying, can you confirm that this is the blue label as you are showing it? And 5 of them come back and said, oops, no, it's not. I bought the one that was right, but that's the problem. Garth Brooks, I think we all know, is at number 1. Yeah. Yeah. See, one of the problems I think with Elvis is counting his record sales. People like the Beatles and Garth Brooks, Led Zeppelin, they produced an album. That album sells. If you want that album, you buy that album. The sales go up and up and up. With Elvis, they released an album, and then they released a different version of the album, and then a compilation with the album on it, and then a re-release of the album in a different format, and it diluted all the sales. So on paper, his albums don't look as big as a lot of these artists. But all around the world, he was selling hundreds of thousands of all these different versions of these albums. So I think that did him a disservice as well. It was a dilution of his output. They didn't treat Elvis as a serious artist. They never did. You know, people say, oh, Buddy Holly, and it's all Buddy Holly. Buddy Holly was great. But Elvis was greater. But they don't see it like that. It's available on Digipack. I won't show you any more of those 3-inch CDs because I'm going to make a video. What else? What else have I got? I lose track of what I've bought. I recently got, if I can spot it, the Japanese Girl Happy. Where is it? Oh yeah, the one with a different cover. I've wanted one of those for quite a while. Finally picked one up in nice condition. I just love it when other countries do completely different covers. I've got an Australian Girl Happy coming. Should be here next week. And then California Holiday. Where is it? And this one recently. California Holiday. I think Elvis looks fantastic on a red background. It really suits him. So this is the Japanese pressing. They always did such a great job in Japan. And of course it's gatefold. Well, the Japanese one, you've got the bonus photo, but the Japanese one actually came with 2 bonus photos. So, yeah, Mal, I think anytime they put Elvis on a red background, he does look good. Same with Girl Happy. So I'm trying to get all the Japanese. I've got quite a few now. I'm looking out for on-stage quad pressing. Oops. That's one I am looking for. I've asked David see if he can find me one. I recently got the that's the way it is quad, if I can spot it. All my live albums are up here. There you go. So here is the Japanese quad pressing, if that's the way it is. I've got Madison Square Gardens, Aloha from Hawaii. So I want On Stage, and I think there's a From Elvis in Memphis Japanese quad as well. What is your favourite Elvis album from the 80s and 90s? '80s and 90s. I actually did like a lot The Sound of Your Cry, which I already mentioned. I think there's some really good versions on that album. Much better than the American version of it. What on earth was the American version? Greatest Hits Volume 1. Strange. But I really did like The Sound of Your Cry as an album. No, we missed out on everything. It really annoyed me when I remember as a kid when my mum bought me that magazine, and they were the first time I saw US picture sleeve singles, and I was pissed off. Why do they get these great picture sleeve singles and we don't? Anyway. Try and put this back in the same place. Otherwise I'll get everything mixed up. So here we have Japanese. And then they did like to change things a lot. So, UK had a poster with Elvis on. Yep, I've got that. Got that somewhere. I think I showed it in one of the videos. Have you got all the Elvis monthly annuals? Not anymore. I had a lot of the magazines. I had it on order from our little grocery shop where we lived. So every month, hard to believe there was an Elvis monthly magazine. So I'll go over and get it. It was a little magazine. And I had them all in boxes, and I had the annuals. I can't remember what happened to them. It's possible they're packed in one of the boxes. I don't think I had all of them though. I had all of them from when I started collecting them, but I didn't have the early ones. You do see them for sale. They're not that expensive. I did sort of think about collecting them, but I have to put a break on it. My wife will kill me. I'm sure she was a KGB agent in her spare time. She knows how to do it, trust me. Do you have Elvis Pearl Harbor concert, Harold? I only have it in the it was in the silver box set, wasn't it? Yeah. I do like the look of the Memphis Recording Service version of it, and I've heard that the sound quality has been improved. So that is something that I would like to get, and the cover looks fantastic. So I'd like to get the album, the vinyl, and the CD. So it's on my list. Paul have box Japan versions of Elvis in person, and that's the way it is. Box. So the album comes in a box. Paul, don't tell me this. My bank manager will not be pleased. No, I've got the annuals, never got the mags. I have all the official Elvis calendars from the 70s. I've only recently, well, last year, I started buying Elvis calendars again. I think I told the story. My dad was hopeless at buying Christmas presents, so I told him, just get me the new Elvis calendar. So he did, and when he died, I just couldn't bring myself to go and buy it myself. Until last year, I bought one, and I've got one hung up here now. So, God, I think if I kept everything that I'd bought over the years, I'd need a trailer outside the house. I would laugh at some of the stuff. My mum, she was great. I never asked for anything as a kid. My brother and sisters were always, I never asked for anything. And she would just go out shopping and come home with something. And she came home one day with this, it was a radio. Some of you may have had it. Little black stand with Elvis in gold. And then the buttons to turn the radio on. Really poor sounding radio. And then Elvis stood on it in this ridiculous looking outfit. It was funny when I think about it. In fact, the radio came in handy because I used to like to listen to Test Match Special when I was at school. And the radio was small enough to put in my inside pocket of my blazer, have the earphones running up my arm to come out my sleeve, and I would sit like this in class with the earpiece in, listening to the cricket. Harold Elvis should have been allowed to do concerts in the 60s. Absolutely. When you look at the songs he sang at Pearl Harbor, what we missed out on. Elvis performing all those great songs live. Now all put away in cupboards. Mal's are in cupboards, mine are in boxes. Yes, Mal, we need the Mal channel. Start showing us your collection. Anybody who thinks that they, might like to do it, but they're a bit shy or embarrassed, don't be. There's nobody out there. I'm just talking to a camera. There's nobody out there. Doesn't matter what I say or do, within reason. And Elvis fans are great. You'll find an audience. Danny, do it. Start your channel. Now, imagine Elvis walking out on stage at the London Palladium in the mid-60s. Yeah. Well, of course, he was invited to do the Raw Variety performance, wasn't he? Now, why on earth did he not do that? I never actually looked into why it was turned down. What is it? Probably film contracts or something nonsense. Imagine the Queen meeting Elvis. What a photograph that would have been. Of course, the newspaper headlines, the King and the Queen, blah, 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 blah. Oh, dear. If only. So many missed opportunities. Now, that pervert Jimmy Savile offered Elvis £1 million, but Parker said no. I think there was also a Japanese consortium that offered Elvis a vast sum of money to go and do a concert there. I wonder if Elvis ever actually got to hear these things, or if they just got to the Colonel's desk and stopped there. Be interesting to know. Harold, he was supposed to do a show in England in '62. I wonder if that was the Raw Variety. Every year there's a charity show in London where artists are invited to perform in front of, it was the Queen then. So they do the show, and then afterwards the Queen goes backstage and meets them all. And it's always televised. That may have been it. Harold, it was part of his contract. He would not perform live. Who came up with that clause? I can't believe he did. And why on earth would you agree to it? I don't know. Oh, we're nearly up to 2.5 hours. Although it's Easter Sunday tomorrow. Who cares? For a long time I had that Elvis the Yours magazine cover of Elvis and the Queen together in my youth. I thought it looked cool. Yeah, it would have been great. He'd have charmed the Queen. Of course, Elvis did meet royalty on a few occasions. If you look it up, was it the Thai royal family? And I think one of the Scandinavian, if I remember right. This year I made an effort to get some of the vinyl box sets that I was missing. So I think I just need Live in Las Vegas. The CERN will sign contracts years in advance, yeah. Not perform live while making films. That would seem odd. Why would you have a contract not to perform live while making films? It would all promote the films. Paul Danish print set, yeah. Danny, have you got Love Me Tender single pink cover and grey? Let's have a look. Because I can't remember. Alright, I have this long box filled with American singles. Now they were in order. Let's see if it works. Right. So there's pink. And there's grey. I think there is a third one, isn't there? Isn't there a green one? Or is my memory faulty? I think there is a third one. I've got these two. Green, yeah. Why did I not get the green? Another one to add to the list. And I have another long box which is all the UK singles, except the one that nobody's got. And then I have a box with singles from various other countries. Right, where did I get to? Man, I was told by a member of the royal family the Queen really was an Elvis fan. I wouldn't be surprised. The Queen had good taste. I was a fan of the Queen as well. Giovanni, I have the Live in Las Vegas vinyl box set. Well done. That's the one I'm looking for. Was it done by Castle? Because they seem to do a lot of these vinyl sets. Was it done by Castle? Because they seem to do a lot of these vinyl sets. Marcus, there's also an orange of Love Me Tender. I didn't know that. Annie, sorry, bank manager. Oh dear. I tell my wife it's an investment. Oh, on the search for HMV singles in decent condition, most I've seen seem to have original owners' names or initials on the label. Yeah, or the centre's been knocked out and glued back in. Or they do seem to be very, very prone to fading, those HMVs. I've got all the 78s, I don't have all the 45s. I think I need, what, 4 or 5 still. Castle BMG, yeah. Harold, remember when the Japanese Prime Minister went to Graceland? Yeah, he was a big Elvis fan, wasn't he? He had a special CD released in Japan with a fake picture of him meeting Elvis on the cover. All his favourite Elvis songs on it. What have I got? Of course, when you come to box sets, this was one I absolutely loved when I picked it up. It's so well done. Fantastic set. I was really impressed with this. Again, it's another one that's become really expensive. I just got it out of a slot. Will it go back in? Yep. I was saying about the UK pressing of Take Good Care of Her, which I've seen a picture of it. It does exist. I don't know anyone that's ever owned one. I've never even seen one. But it must be out there somewhere. Now, the reason it's so rare is there was a vinyl shortage in the UK, so they just imported the US one, which was great for the fans here because it had a picture sleeve on. So they, of course, all bought that, so they wouldn't want to buy. Eventually, they did press a few in the UK. But probably, you know, if I'd have gone into a record shop and saw the UK one and the American one, I'd have bought the American one because it had a nice picture sleeve. The UK one is extremely rare, so rare that it barely seems to exist. Now, the same thing happened with the Raised on Rock album. Again, they imported the American. That's the Japanese, came with a bonus photo, the Japanese one. They imported the American one. Which is that one. So if you went into a record shop in the UK, this is what you saw, the American pressing. But again, late on, they did actually press a few UK. So this is the UK, and then you can see at the bottom there. And it's also on the label. This is not easy to find, and it's quite expensive. Mal's got it, yep. The great shame of these 70s albums is that around the world they pretty much just copied. I wanted them to do their own totally different pressings so that I could collect them. I'm not as excited to collect the same thing but with, you know, made in Israel at the bottom if it looks exactly the same. Harold, do you have the young man with the big beat? Danny, where is it? Young man with the big beat. There you go. Again, it's one I've never opened. I'm going to have a marathon listening session and open all these things that I've not opened. Danny, I bought the USA pressing of Raised on Rock for £5, bargain. Yeah. Giovanni, Raised on Rock UK rare. Yes, it is. It wasn't cheap when I found mine. Of course, it is the sort of thing that you might get lucky and walk into a junk shop, second-hand record shop, charity shop. Charity shops are good. Second-hand record shops, they tend to know what they're doing, and they've probably got a book, they can look it up, or they look on Discogs. Charity shops, that's the place. I went into one in Gloucester, and it was just a wall full of CDs. It was too much to take in. You couldn't, you know, just walk and try. I'll have to go back there. Of course, to them, it's a CD. It's £1, regardless of what it is. I dream of going in one day and seeing the entire FTD collection that somebody's given them for £1 each. Well, I managed to get UK copies of the first two Legendary Performer as well. I bought those when they came out, but I never actually looked. I've never looked. Damn, it's another thing to put on the list. I'll check. Where did I get to? Marcus, do you have the Essential Masters? No. Is that the really expensive big box of everything? Harold, I have the Big Beat on a Bike box set. Big Beat on a Bike. 12-inch box set. Man, I paid 120 for Raised on Rock. I paid more. Not a huge amount more, but I did pay more. Danny, the Essential Masters box set came with a set of stamps. Essential Masters. I get all these box sets confused. I'm not really sure which one you mean. Can you show your big box sets? For some stupid reason, I put all my big box sets on the top shelf. Well, you saw Elvis, that's the way it is. So there's Peace in the Valley. Nice looking cover. Those two are lower down. Okay. Oh. Collector's Gold. Okay, so we got cassettes, we got CDs, and we got vinyl. That's that. This was very important to me. My Elvis collection wasn't that big, and my parents bought this for me, and it just blew my mind. Fantastic. Okay. 6 vinyl album set. And vinyl album set. Compact discs, but in a long box. Okay, compact discs. Compact discs. Compact discs. And then, of course, I got them all again on the smaller versions. The gold box. And again, I got the smaller CD version of it. The silver box, and again the smaller CD version of it. Oops. Worldwide 50 Gold Volume 1 and 2, which you've all seen. And this American Trilogy set. And of course the that's the way it is. Huge box, which I'm not going to lift down. Something fell on the floor. Oh, my tablets. Better not lose them. So those are the big boxes. I think that's all of them. What happened? Three, 6, 6, Jack, hello. I'm not getting the boxes down again. Do you have Elvis 1973 mail order album? Mail order album. I don't know. What was it? Is this an American album? Did your Jailhouse Rock USA single come with a bonus photo? No. I've never heard of one with a bonus photo in. I don't have all the bonus photos. I've got quite a few of them now, but oops, I'm still missing some. I try and put these back. For some reason, they never want to go back where they came from. Slot it in there. So what else? Like I was saying about albums from other countries with different covers, from Elvis in Memphis, from Italy. And again, are they trying to make him look Italian? I'm getting a bit disorganised. Put some of this back. I've got to decide what to do with all these books. I think most of them will have to go back up in the attic. There you go. Do you mean Camden mail order? Were Camdens available by mail order? I didn't know that. Oh, it was just called Elvis. Is it the blue cover with him from Aloha from Hawaii on the front? From Boxcar Records. Not sure about that. I would say I don't have it then because it doesn't ring any bells. Yes, right. I know the one you're talking about then. No, I don't have it. Again, it's one of these I've looked at buying and just never got round to it. So many records and so little money. 2 Elvis Camden sets. Were these the ones in boxes? Or is it the one where they put several records in one sleeve? So I was surprised to come across this. I didn't know it existed until I saw it. So it is a box containing those 4 albums. They don't have sleeves. They're just in there. Yeah, and they did 2 versions of it where they stuffed 3 or 4 of them into one sleeve. I've got those 2 as well. Giovanni, where'd you get that box set from? I think it was a record fair. I was surprised to see it. Catalogue number. R10001. RCA Camden. So the records are in this little pocket. And then if that wasn't bad enough, they came out with 2 others, which I've got, if I can find the other one. Like this. I've got the other one somewhere. Knock the microphone on the floor. So that's volume 2. So they've literally just shoved 3 albums into a sleeve. Somewhere I've got volume 1, if I can see it. Oh dear. Let's move that there. To here somewhere. Ah, there you go. So that must be volume 1, I assume. The hunt begins, yep. I actually took the sleeves out because it's a tight fit. I mean, they really milked the Camden series. They came up with so many ways of repackaging it. I see you can get them on CD. I've resisted the urge to start buying them because if I buy one, I'm going to have to buy them all. Love a bit of Camden, yep. I think Camdens were great. I think they're probably the first records that most of us bought because that's what we could afford. Right. How many copies of Elvis's Back you got? I don't think I've got that many. Maybe 5 or 6. Can't remember. The one I would like to get is the Japanese one where they've changed the title to Such a Night. It was a re-release, so he'd been back a long time. I think that's why they changed it. So it's actually called Such a Night. I'd like to get that. Harold, what was your favourite Camden? I really like US Mail. I really like Separate Ways, and I really like I Got Lucky. So choosing one of those, I think US Mail for the songs that are on it. Now there are 2 bootleg box sets of Camden's. Yeah, I don't need to hear these things. Jack Thomas RCA needs to give you voting rights on the board of directors. Yes, 6 CD, Having Fun with Elvis on Stage, deluxe box set. We want it now. The original album in quad. When all the live albums with all the music taken out, just the words. Almost in Love, yeah. I think my least favourite was Hits from the Movies Volume 1. It's Volume 1, isn't it? Yeah. Harold, do you have Kid Gallagher FTD? Yep, I do. And amazingly, I look straight at it. Oh my God, can I get it out? This shelf is getting a bit tight. Yes, it's there. I think I need to do something like that shelf. It's getting a bit packed. I do buy all the latest ones. As I said, I've got about half of them, but I'm not looking to complete it because they're just too expensive. If I see one at a very reasonable price, I'll buy it. Danny, was that called Burning Love and Hits from the Movies? That was Volume 2. Volume 1's the one I didn't particularly like. What a bizarre thing to do. Burning Love. Hit single. Let's stick it on a not very good cheap album. They did it again with Separate Ways, but at least the song selection was a lot better and made sense. Danny, I guess it was just to put Burning Love on a vinyl record. Yeah. I never understood this thing about the singles not being on the albums. Again, that's hurt Elvis. All his early albums, and yet the hit singles aren't on them. If they were all on them, they'd be considered, massive classics. But Tony, hello. I've got an original jacket that Elvis wears on the Elvis's Back LP made in California. And when you say you've got an original jacket, what does that mean? Danny, Suspicious Minds wasn't on an album. Exactly. Paul, I wonder how much we have all spent. Don't think about it. Yeah, I don't think we should go there, just in case our wives see this. Are there any women watching? It's hard to explain to people, though, isn't it? My dad could never understand why I would buy the same record over and over again. He had no grasp of the concept of collecting. I think his brain would explode if he could see what I got now. Speaker's Corner, hello. Well, what else would we have spent the money on? We could spend it on Elvis product, or we could waste it. I meant the Kid Galahad FTD CD. Ah, the sessions. I do have all the studio sessions. I keep them all here. I'll put those cards over there. Mal spent thousands on Elvis and James Bond. Eek. Paul, I buy several items, one from one seller, and it arrives, I tell the wife it's only one item. It's a very, very thick record. I actually have all my stuff delivered somewhere else because very rarely at home when the postman comes. So all my stuff is delivered somewhere else, and then I pick it up from there. Works very well. If I slip an album in here or a CD in there, it doesn't show up. I've always had them. She just never noticed. James Bond, Charo. Charo sounds like a James Bond theme. Tori Amos does. I have a big collection of Tori Amos. I really like her. She does a song called That Man. They've actually put the song to James Bond on a video because it just fits perfectly. Harold, I just got the one that looks like the 1962. Right. Right, the album version of it. I see what you mean. I haven't actually bought any of those. They look really good. But I've been trying to buy all the unreleased stuff before I start getting into like the classic albums done on FTD. I get what you mean now. Tony, I collect vintage clothing. I have the same jacket. Right. I have actually looked at which one is it? The jacket, one of the jackets he wears on Speedway, which you can buy. I have actually considered buying something like that. Would I have the nerve to wear it? Don't know. Probably nobody would know what it was. A good way of finding other Elvis fans, though. Starting to get a big bruise from where they took blood out of me. Sleeve down, ignore it. Down here, blue and red. Yeah. What colour were you looking at? Both. That would be the problem, trying to decide which one if I did. I must put my list of things somewhere that I'm not going to lose it. Just gone 10 o'clock here. 3 hours. Blimey. So, is there anything else, or have we talked out for the evening? David, great to kick back and admire our collections. It is indeed. Yep, as I was saying before, I don't think we appreciate what we've got because we're so used to our own collection. And you see somebody else who's got things, you think, wow, look at that. I always have to kill the conversation. I'll never stop smiling with these. Oh dear. "40 years of dreaming," that was, and then I finally got them. David, I just recently got Guitar Man on a CD in a jewel case. Was that wasn't that done in Germany? I have seen it. I never actually bought it. You see these things around, and you don't buy them. You think, "Oh, I can get that anytime," and then when you want one, you try and find one. I don't know what everybody feels about the Guitar Man album. I wasn't that keen on it. German Book Club. I thought Guitar Man worked quite well, though I still prefer the original. And the other song that I did think worked well was "Love in Arms." And Terry Wogan, who was a big Elvis fan, played it a lot on his radio show. And I think it was on the back of him playing it so much that it actually got into the charts. But other than that, I wasn't very keen on that album. And in fact, I never bought the FTD vinyl album version. I had a chance to, but I did get the CD when it came out. It was one of the early. But again, I think I played it once and stuck it on the shelf. We've got now 17 people have stuck it out. What do you think of Elvis Too Much Monkey Business FTD? The one I just showed. Yeah, not very keen on it. I've listened to it, but I would always rather hear the original. So I understand that they were trying to make it sound more, what's the word? More up to date. But I don't think it really worked. The originals were fine. They didn't need redoing. Paul, have you got your collection on your home contents insurance? No. No. In the words of Baldrick in Blackadder, was it Baldrick? No, it was George when he was trying to defend him at the court-martial. I was rather banking on mindless optimism. So no, it's not insured. I know it's a risk, but the chances of anything happening are pretty remote. Everyone goes silent. Baldrick always had a cunning plan, he did indeed. Deny everything, Baldrick. Are you Baldrick? No. David, I got the CD version of the 2 LP box set Worldwide Hits, including a piece of Elvis' shirt. I've never seen it before on eBay. CD version of the 2 LP box set. I know there are some CDs. I don't have them. I have seen... I didn't realise they came with... how do they come with a piece of Elvis' shirt? Did they cut up some more shirts? That's something to find out. Yeah, the original LP came with Elvis's clothing. I don't know about a CD set. Sure, yeah. Yeah, the vinyl box set came with... When they say a piece of Elvis's clothing, I think they mean a piece of some material that came from Graceland. Ah, right, Mal. Both of the books were available. Both of the box sets were available on bootlegs with the clothing and books. Now, if they were available on bootlegs, where did the clothing come from? I don't want to spoil anything, but I'd be a bit dubious about that. If I was a bootlegger and I had a genuine piece of Elvis's clothing, I wouldn't cut it up. I'd sell it. Exactly, Mal. And being a bootlegger, I'd be a bit dubious where that came from. But of course, you could buy the original. There's nothing to stop somebody from opening it, taking the original out and just putting a bit of cloth in it. We just have to decide it's real, and that's that. Paul, got that Legend Collection 3D set you gave the heads up. Oh, well done. That was a good price. I did actually think of buying it and keeping it as a prize for if I get to 1,000 subscribers. But then I thought, nah, let somebody else get it. Oops. There goes some CD singles down the back. I'll have to fish them out later. The box on that one that was for sale actually looked in a bit better condition than mine. They do tend to scuff up quite easily. This is number 336, which is quite low. But I see that one came with even with the original purchase slip. So, and the certificate. The seller had it on previously at a higher price, and he relisted it at a reduced price. £33. I paid more for that. Oh, yeah. Have you got the silver version? John, I just won the 2 Nashville sets near your head. My head. Those 2. Fantastic. They're fantastic. Oh, a new collector. Come to the dark side. I hope you've got big pockets. It's a lot of fun though. But you can become a bit obsessed. As you can see with all of us here. What are your thoughts? They're fantastic. This was a golden period. You had several golden periods, but this was just superb. For me, he couldn't do anything wrong. He was surrounded by world-class musicians. He was happy. He was doing the songs that he loved. And it shows. Fantastic. Even the outtakes are fantastic. Oops. So what did fall down the back? They've probably gone down there. I shall have to dig them out. So, John, are you just going to collect CDs, or are you going to collect vinyl as well? Or was it the vinyl? Did you say? I assume it's the CDs you've won, as you said they were in. Collecting CDs is more affordable. So what we're looking at, 17 minutes past 10. I think we'll go to past, then I better call it a day. Otherwise my wife will be complaining. Oops. Oops. I am only one vinyl from completion, the Good Times album with the bonus stickers on the cover. Good Time album with the bonus stickers on the cover. What Good Times have I got? Good Times, where are you? Paul, when you went to Graceland in the 80s, did you buy anything? Bootlegs. I specifically left space in my suitcase for bootlegs. I live in Gloucestershire, and back then you didn't see bootlegs. They were these mythical things that you heard about. So I decided that I would buy bootlegs, and that's what I bought. I came back with a suitcase full of bootlegs. Danny, are the stickers saying featuring the hit My Boy? Let me see if I can see, because I honestly haven't got a clue. Good Times. Let's have a look. Good Times. Up there. What am I thinking of? I've got a sticker of my boy on something. I don't think it's Good Times. I've got a feeling. Aha. Now you might be thinking, what? If I remember rightly, I don't know if, yep, if he's still here. This is the Brazilian pressing, and they put my boy on it. So side B, the first track, is My Boy. In fact, it's not a sticker, it's actually printed. So that's what I was thinking of. So I don't have Good Times. Is that something else I have to add to the list? Harold, you've got to do this more often. It's finding a free time to just sit down. I have a lot of other things I should be doing or could be doing. Oops. Let's move some of this out of the way. I'm boxing myself in slowly. Click the link when you can. What link? Oh, the first UK version of Good Times had, from memory, the wrong writer credits. I got a thing about your baby. All right. That's a thing I like to know, to look out for. It's like on my video I did, was it today? I can't even remember now. Of from Elvis Presley Boulevard, where the original UK pressing on the back, it says the song is "The bigger they are, the harder they fall." And it was on the second pressing that they corrected it to "The bitter they are, the harder they fall." Jack, I enjoy just listening and learning. Have you got a big collection, Jack? Have you been collecting long? Harold, do you have any Russian Elvis items? I have one album. There are other there are a couple of Russian albums, and there are some earlier albums that have Elvis on them, but they have like one or two Elvis tracks on and other artists, and the covers don't have pictures, it's just text. I do have one, but whether I can see it, I doubt it, amongst all that lot. No. I do have one Russian album somewhere on there. David turning in now. Thanks for that. Happy Easter to you and a good lady. Same to you, David. Yep, I should be going. It's nearly past. Oops. Although I don't feel like sleeping. I'll find some film to watch. I bought a copy of what's his name? David Maltin. Is that the name? He's a film critic, and he does this massive book with all Hollywood films and that in, and he rates them. So I go through the book looking for his 4 and 5 star ratings, and then I track the film down to watch it, and see films that I never would have seen otherwise. I like to cross them off in the book, part of the collecting thing again. So I might grab that and see what I can find to watch. So good night to you. So it's 5 minutes to 10:30 here in the UK. So, good night, Paul. Mal, 4K of Casablanca. Yeah. I don't think they've ever beaten the golden period of Hollywood for films. And true film stars, not like the people today, the true film stars. I said at the beginning of this, Greta Garbo, I'm a big fan of Greta Garbo. They don't make them like that anymore. Jack, collect 45 and 2,000 LP, 10,000, Jesus Christ. I can't imagine 10,000 45s. I'm only missing the That's All Right sleeve American. You mean the gold standard one? Well, I go back further than that. I'll watch silent films. I love the 30s, 40s, 50s. The 30s, just something about it. The style, the class, the clothing, the hats. I just love it all. And some great stories. Jack, yes. That's all right. That one. Danny, Laurel and Hardy, yeah. I watched a thing recently. There's a channel on YouTube where they show various things to villagers from rural India and Pakistan, people who've never seen, this kind of thing. And they showed them Charlie Chaplin, and they were in hysterics. They were applauding. They couldn't believe it. They thought it was so funny. And we become very jaded that absolute brilliance is put in front of us. Yeah, whatever. There are people who won't watch something because it's black and white. My wife, she will not watch anything that's black and white. Missing out on so much. Anyway, the time has come to sign off. 3.5 hours. Jack, yep. We have one on eBay for $199 for just the sleeve. Yes, insane. Insane. I can't remember what I paid for that one, but it was nothing like that. If you keep watching eBay, they turn up. I got one. Which one was it? Hound Dog, I think. I got it. No. I did a video. I paid 25 quid. Buy it now on eBay. Heartbreak Hotel, I think it was. There was a video because I did a video opening it because I couldn't believe. I was like, "Is it what it looked like?" And it was. So it does happen. Thanks, Mal. Danny, no. No, colorizing it wouldn't work for me either. Anyway, it's 10:30. I started on time. I'll finish on time. So thank you for everyone that turned up and took part. I really enjoyed it. I'll try and do it again. And I will try and post advance notice. I think I gave an hour this time, which is better than last time when I just appeared. I will try and set some time aside and give advance notice so people can know I'm here. So thank you to everyone who took part. Anyone who watched and didn't take part, don't be shy. So I assume that you all have an Easter break now in most of the countries, so enjoy it. Enjoy your collecting, and let's see what we can turn up for next time. So till next time, bye for now.